Kelly, make a video criticizing the movie Lilo and Stitch. Say no more, my dear Ohanas. Ohana means orphanage Lilo, jail. Just kidding, just kidding. And yes, let's talk about the controversial Lilo and Stitch live-action movie, 2025 Juana Maria. Because even if it's a financial success. Since they spent around $100 million making this movie, but they've made $610 million worldwide so far. That makes it the third highest grossing movie of the year 2025 Juana Maria, a marvel. But unfortunately, like all of Disney's live-action movies, it also brought a lot of controversy and criticism. It disappointed me, and in my opinion, Disney isn't understanding its own legacy.
The live-action Lilo and Stitch movie was terrible and made me lose faith in humanity.
And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about my personal opinion and also about the opinions I've been seeing on the internet, about the biggest criticisms. So yes, if you want to watch this video, if you're interested in watching this video, first of all, follow me on my other social media. Thank you so much. I came back yesterday, not anymore. I get lost, Juana Maria. But I didn't come back to social media yesterday. Juana Maria, if you don't follow me on Instagram, didn't you see the story I posted telling like a duck? It attacked me on the street while I was walking my dog. If you missed that story, follow me on Instagram so you don't miss it again. I might do a story time to share that very traumatic experience. I start running with the duck chasing me from behind. Can you imagine the stress I was under? Like literally, I was this man. But yes, before we start this video, did you see my microphone for today? It's my Stitch. If I have it, I have to do something with it, right? Like this was its moment to shine, babe. But anyway, yes, before we start, with this little video, aloha, little video ohana, hello, hello, good doggies or bad ones? I adore Stitch and Aloha. Family always sticks together. Let's start with the fact that this movie is one of the most, well, not just the movie, the franchise, it's one of the most iconic at Disney. In the past 5 years, they've earned $200 million solely from plush toy sales. I'm part of that $200 million because I have a lot of stickers and Stitch stuff. You say, guy, I've always liked this movie ever since I was little. It's just that I was born in 2002. I'm referring to people born in 2002 like myself. The movie Lilo and Stitch doesn't represent Juana Maria, it's our movie. Speaking of that, speaking of that, my birthday is on Wednesday, June 4th. You're invited to my party. Well, I did go see the movie. And throughout this video, I'll be sharing a bit of my opinion, right? The story centers on Lilo, a lonely and misunderstood girl known as Number One. The three most critical reasons are, firstly, her parents' death, which haunts her throughout the entire film. Number two, even though she's a native Hawaiian, she felt excluded from her own land by tourists, by tourism in general. And number three, society simply excluded her. You know, even her own friends, well, friends in quotes, everyone excluded her. Meanwhile, her sister Nani's life also transformed abruptly. Now, her main focus is making sure she doesn't lose custody of her sister Lilo, since she's the only family she has left in this world. And she does everything she can. She looks for every possible job so she won't lose custody of her sister, because the most important thing for her sister is Ohana. Family, and the family that never abandons you. No, that's a waste of time. This has been the central theme of the film since its 2002 creation, and it's reiterated in this movie as well. In every scene, they say Ohana, and you respond that Ohana means family, and family never abandons you. Precisely, Weba. Even in the original movie or series, Lilo is portrayed as very mischievous. Even so, the sister is always very understanding and can handle everything, even though they are very complicated things. She knows how to deal with all that, because her main goal is to make sure they don't take her sister away from her. And finally, we have Stitch, who came to complete the family. He's a bit like Lilo, right? He's quite a misunderstood being. He was created solely to sow chaos. He's a creature of chaos. And he also felt pretty lonely without a family, kind of like how Lilo felt, you know? Then they found each other and formed the Ohana. Aloha means family never abandons. And point number three, this franchise is also a direct critique of the tourism in Hawaii. I enjoyed the movie and laughed often. When did you finish watching it? I kind of talked to the people around me and asked, yeah, did you like it? And everyone said, yes, I liked it. We laughed, I don't know what, at several moments we got stressed. Overall, I liked the movie. It was pretty good. I liked the animations, maybe not so much the animations of the villains. My little one, what was his name? Jumba? Imply, please? Okay, Susanna, I forgot the name. Oh no, but yeah, they kind of scared me a little. I mean, I thought, why didn't they do it a little more lively, like a little cuter? Perhaps they aimed to make them appear more villainous, but they ended up looking quite ugly. I can't stand it. They disgust me. But even so, Susanna, I liked it a lot. I recommend you watch it and form your own opinion about the movie. The main criticisms at the time I went to see the movie, I only remembered 3 main concepts from the movie Lilo and Stitch, having forgotten the rest. And when I watched the movie, I kind of thought that the originals were like that too. After watching the originals in several episodes, I realized that many things had indeed changed. And maybe in the main concepts. That's why also after watching the original movies, I understand a bit more the anger of the Hawaiians and even the anger of the original gangster superfans. You know about the classic Lilo and Stitch? And now I'm going to explain it to you. The number one criticism, and one that I really noticed, Susanna, it was that it seemed a bit like they were advertising the hotels in Hawaii. And you can see that in several scenes that they changed a little just to make everything look nicer over there. For example, in the first scene where she's swimming, she gives a sandwich to the fish, then she runs out to go to her class. I don't know what. To dance. In the movie, what she does, well, in the 2025 movie, you know? What she does is exactly that. She gives the sandwich to the fish. Nothing. She runs away. But first, before heading to her class, she enjoys the resort, has a good time with the tourists, you know? What? She gets along pretty well with the tourists, and then she goes to her class. So, that's something that's quite different from the original movie, because in the original movie you can see a bit of the disdain that Lilo has for the tourists. For example, in the scene where she takes a picture of a sunburned tourist and puts it up in her room. And then we see that she has a small collection that she has made with several tourists. It represents how she feels that tourists perceive her, how they see her through their eyes, as if she were an exotic being, as if she were strange, right? And then Lilo does the same thing with them, you know? Like she takes pictures of them and hangs them in her room, as if they were the strange and exotic ones. It's kind of making fun of those same tourists who treated them a bit like they were dumb. And that kind of change in the scenes happens a bit throughout the movie. You know, like when they show you that Lilo and Stitch are really enjoying, well, the hotels in Hawaii. There's also a deleted scene from the original where it shows the disdain that Lilo had towards the tourists. She goes to the beach and tells the tourists that a tsunami is coming so that they'll leave. Do you know about the beach? And so they leave it to the native Hawaiians. The scene was deleted as it was deemed inappropriate and could lead to the show being cancelled even at the time. Another criticism from Hawaiians is how they show the economy. Because in the original, something they criticized a lot was that they made you see. For example, how did Lilo and her sister live? In comparison to the luxurious life that the tourists had when they went to the hotels in Hawaii, you know, the good life they enjoyed? While Lilo's sister was going crazy trying to find a job, she even looked for work to entertain those same tourists, so that they could have the best day of their lives in Hawaii, even though they themselves are struggling a lot because they can't afford the lifestyle in Hawaii.
That's a very serious problem today. I'll read you something from an online article.
Hawaii's tourism economy benefits visitors, while local families struggle to survive. This message was strongly highlighted throughout the film. For this reason, many Hawaiians have to leave their own land because that life is no longer sustainable since prices have increased too much. Because of the massive tourism in Hawaii, it's not that expensive for tourists since they're just going on vacation, just spending some time there. Many even move to Hawaii for the lifestyle they can have there and because they have the money to maintain that life. But native Hawaiians can't afford to live in their own land with their salaries. And did the original Lilo and Stitch movie show you that? So in this version, it was totally the opposite. They kind of took out that mockery of tourists. Bye, bye, beba. Look, bye, goodbye, sayonara. Well, I'm leaving. Exactly. Even a super epic scene where that character only appears for a little bit. And do you recognize him? You know, well, this character is the one Lilo takes a picture of, Susanna, who is a gringo. But in this movie, they changed him to a native Hawaiian, which kind of takes away the whole point of the joke, because the joke was Lilo doesn't take a picture of him. But they kind of show him, you know, like the same character who drops his ice cream or something like that. So that kind of takes away a bit of the fun from the original story. So I saw a lot of Hawaiians saying that obviously in this movie they didn't want to make fun of tourists in any way, because what they want is for tourism in Hawaii to keep growing and for people to feel welcome when they visit. I'm getting a bit tangled up, but yes, they want people to feel welcome when they go to Hawaii and not to feel like they're being made fun of by Hawaiians or like they're just going there to be a bother. No, what they want is to attract tourism. And above all, because at that time Disney didn't have anything in Hawaii. And yet after the success of Stitch's story, they opened their own Stitch resort. So yeah, it's not good for them either if, well, people don't want to go to their own resort anymore, you know?
Honestly, it is what it is.
The second and major criticism is Lilo's sister, who faced disapproval from the start. Because I think she's not a native Hawaiian, you know? Like, she was born in Hawaii, but not like native, you know? Like, she's not 100% Hawaiian by blood. So the Hawaiians were already a little upset about that, and then they also got mad because they did brown face on her. They tanned her too much so she would look more like Lilo's sister or have more of a Hawaiian appearance, you know? However, that's not the main criticism people have. It's that in the end, she leaves her sister Lilo, she gives custody of her brother Lilo to the government. During the movie, you kind of understand it because you can see that she just can't do it. Nani can't handle everything. The expenses taking care of her little sister who's super mischievous, and on top of that, now she has a new pet, which, well, is an alien. Oh no, but do you see the life her sister is living? In the movie, she also discusses her dreams, which wasn't extensively explored in the 2002 originals or the series. Was it that Nani talked about, for example, that she wanted to go study that thing in the Navy? What was it? That thing in the Navy? Juana Maria. Oh, what she wanted to study. Me, the one with the best memory in the world. Talia, me, Doris, can I tell you? But anyway, in this version, you can really see a lot of that about Nani. So when you see that in the end, she leaves her to the government, and the government, well, leaves her to the neighbor, and well, Nani, in one way or another, she can go visit her every night. You kind of even manage to understand a little bit, you know? You say Nani is right, it's normal and the most realistic thing. But then you watch the Lilo and Stitch series or you watch the original Juana Maria movies, and you realize that Nani from those movies, she would have never done what the nanny in this movie did. Because what I feel is that they wanted to give, well, Disney wanted to give it a more realistic vision. Like, I feel like they didn't want to set a bad example for kids or young people, you know, like they have to chase their dreams. I don't know, maybe they wanted to give that message, but for me, I know. What I don't like about Disney is that nowadays Disney, like, I don't know, Susanna, tries to look better in society. What they do is change the original stories of the classics. Even though people love the classics so much because of those stories, they shouldn't change them in the classic. Losing custody of Lilo was the last thing Nani wanted in life. Her top priority wasn't her studies or even her desire to surf. Her number one mission was not to lose her sister because she was the only family she had left. And that's why she constantly told Lilo that Ohana means family and family never leaves you behind. She didn't want to abandon her little sister, the only family she had left after her parents died. Something they changed in this movie that I say to myself at the end, well, no, I'll talk about that later. Oh no. The movie altered various minor details regarding the sisters' relationship so that it would make more sense for Nani to pursue her dreams instead of staying to take care of her little sister. For instance, Nani was more understanding in the animated theme. Ultimately, she was a woman who accomplished things. Like, at the end of the day, she took care of Lilo and kept going with her life, and she was still happy. She even had help from her boyfriend. In this movie, their relationship is pretty meh. There's even a scene they show here where she loses her job because of a mess that Lilo and Stitch made. At that moment, well, in the animated movie, it was for another reason, but in the end, it seemed like Lilo was the one who did all of this. In the animated movie, she's even understanding with Lilo because Lilo was feeling bad, you know? And she thought it was all her fault. She was very understanding with her sister, Susanna, telling her it wasn't her fault, that she shouldn't worry, and that as a little girl, she needs to be happy. However, in the live action, what they did was, Lilo made a mess with Stitch. And, well, the sister got really mad at Lilo. She got very angry with her and told her it was her fault, you know? Something that really contrasts with the animated movie, where Nani was more like a mother, you know? Yeah, she had more of that maternal instinct. What can we see in the live action? I understand they aimed for realism, depicting the likely scenario of a girl losing her parents and being left to care for her younger sister. Most likely, I would also act like Nani from the live action. The only thing is, yes, because Nani from the animated version behaved differently.
Honestly, things are what they are.
Another scene also left me at a loss for words. It was that, for example, when Nani heard her sister ask the shooting star to give her a friend because she felt lonely. The other day, she first took her to the pound to adopt a puppy, where she found Stitch. Why? Because she really wanted to see her little sister happy? However, in the live action, it's completely the opposite. She listened to her little sister, felt bad, and said, "Oh, poor thing, she wants a pet, but I have my own life and expenses." And what happened is that it was the neighbor who took Lilo to the pound, and that's where she found her. Stitch brought him home, and her sister, well, she went crazy because her sister just imagined she can't handle her own life. She can't handle her sister's life. It's normal for her to react that way to a new animal. However, in the animated version, it was different. The sister did want Lilo to have a pet, so she would have some kind of company. Because she wanted to see her little sister happy, and because she knew her little sister wasn't having a good time. Another thing I noticed is that in this comparison with the animated version, Nani and Stitch hardly interacted, even though in the animated one, they actually had a pretty close relationship. In this one, it appeared that Lilo was the sole link between them, and she didn't seem to truly care about Stitch. And well, yes, in the end, what everyone knows happened. Nani left her with the government, the government, more than anything, left it to the neighbor, something that people didn't really understand either, you know? Because Nani also went to study in California, and she went to study marine biology, even though in Hawaii there's a university where you can study the same thing. So people are saying, you know, people found it odd, but one way or another, yes. Nani solves it, baby, and she can go visit Lilo every night with a magic weapon. So people say, see, so Nani didn't abandon Lilo completely, even though she left custody to the government. Honestly, whether you admit it or not, Juana Maria abandoned her by leaving custody to the government. But besides that, Nani, when she decided to leave Lilo to the government, she didn't even know about the existence of that magic weapon. She found out about the existence of that magic weapon. After she decided to abandon Lilo because several things happened, she found out what aliens were, she found the weapon, and that's it, you know? But before she knew she could go see her sister every night, even so, she had already decided to leave her with the government. It's understandable because when you watch the movie, you think it's normal and obvious that's what was going to happen. Because Lilo's sister can't handle her life, but those things wouldn't have happened with the animated version. Because Lilo's sister tried in every possible way to prevent that from happening, Lilo's sister would have never given her custody to the government. And also, I saw that this is a recurring problem in Hawaii. You know what I mean? About families being separated? Nanana. So yeah, you know, like Hawaiians were also a little upset about that part. Another thing I saw that made people really angry is the fact that I think it's Jumba. Sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, I'm kind of terrible with names and Tajwana, but I do know that Jumba was good in the animated movie and, well, in the live-action movie. What do I know? They wanted to avoid spending a large sum on animating the giant shark. So they decided to make this one the villain. Juana Maria, what can I say? I enjoyed the movie overall, but I wasn't particularly impressed by this villain's performance. Because in the animated one, he had his little thing, he was even funny. Juana Maria, in the animated one, he kind of had his own personality. He was a mad scientist, not even a villain, which I think made him evil. He wasn't that bad to me. The worst thing was that the character was boring, you know? Was he like a boring villain? Bickley did come to save the day, but still, this character, I wish they had given him more flavor, you know? To make it more fun, Juana, I forgot to mention the new characters, but for me, they were just meh, neither here nor there, you know? Same. People were also upset that many iconic scenes were excluded, such as the ugly duckling scene, which is crucial for understanding the story. Stitch's evolution, but anyway, whatever. Overall, I actually liked this movie. It's true, and I understand all the criticism people had and that I mentioned in this video. That's why I tell you all that. If you want to go see it, go ahead, you know? Because in the end, the movie isn't bad. Form your own opinion, then watch my video and let me know if you agree or disagree with what I said. Juana Maria X. Another thing with Disney is that I tell you Disney at the end when I went to see that movie. 98% were adults. There was only one child in the theater. Everyone else was an adult. They were older people who went to see Disney. Why? Because when you make remakes of classics, the people who go are the ones who saw them. When they were kids who are now adults and are interested in seeing those movies that marked their childhood, you know? I understand that Disney does this for new generations to set a good example for them. But you have to think about that. With this kind of live action, honestly, the ones who are truly interested and will watch it are adults. The people who already saw the original and who know the original story. The original story was fine and didn't need to be cancelled. Disney, I swear. If you watched the movie, comment below. If you didn't watch it, also comment and let us know. Apologies for the spoilers about the movie in this video. Share your thoughts in the comments. Any video ideas? I might upload on Tuesday, maybe Juana Maria, since Wednesday is my birthday, but leave video suggestions in the comments. Lots of recent gossip about Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, and Rihanna has been piling up. If you want to see a video covering this juicy gossip from the past few weeks, let me know in the comments. Write me your opinion about everything. Kisses on the Anastasio. Oh, Hannah, I'm sending you a kiss. I apologize for occasionally neglecting you despite uploading 2 videos for you this week on Tuesday and Sunday. Kisses on the Anastasio. I love you all dearly. If you made it to this point in the video, leave me a blue heart in the comments so I know you made it this far. And that you are Ohana, babe, so I can read and see your username, and I'll say, look, she is Ohana. Ah, okay. If I don't see you there with your blue heart, I'll say, look, she's not part of the family. What can I do? I'm just kidding. Remember to follow me on my other social media, which I'll link in the video description. I'll provide direct links to my socials there. I'm out of breath. Big kiss to Anastasio. See you next video. Subscribe.